everyone, this is Richard and this is Nicole. We're here from Young Black and Married, and we just wanted to do a video, guys, that was requested by many about how to deal with arguments in a relationship. Nicole, you and I get into an argument. I want to say we get into a real argument every 3 or 4 months. Real blowout. I'm not even going to say, what they are about. That's our business, not yours. But we get into a real argument like any other couple. We do them about 3 or 4 times a year. How do we deal with them? What do you think?
We have matured in the way we deal with arguments, definitely. In the beginning, we did a lot of yelling, and we threw out the divorce word a lot. More so you than me. But, we've grown from that. We've grown from that. And now I think that we definitely try to attentively listen to each other. Instead of trying to get our own argument across, we listen, and we give each other the required space that, we need. You know how I argue and how I speak, and how you argue and how you speak. So try not to take things too personally. And I think that we know each other now. We really have listened to one another in our argumentative styles, I guess you could say. Everybody has the way that they argue, and we've kind of altered those because they obviously didn't work in our past relationships. There was no reason to bring that style to our marriage because they were not productive. So we've learned to listen to each other for, I want to say, content, and not just the words themselves. And we've learned to respect each other. So I listen to you, you listen to me, and it doesn't always go over to the point where it's like everything is, well that night. But we've also, number one, learned that it's okay to go to bed angry, as long as we always say we love each other. We always kiss each other goodnight, and we always go to sleep in the same bed. And then in the morning, we wake up and we discuss the argument, and we leave all emotion out of it, and we just bring the facts to the table and say, yesterday I heard you say this. This is what I thought you meant, or I feel you meant by that. Am I right or am I wrong? And we try to leave the emotion, and the anger, whatever we were feeling at that moment, the hurt. That was yesterday's news. You slept it off, wake up, and only talk about the facts. So how do you think we deal with it?
I think that's a good way. I know a lot of people, a lot of couples cling to the I'm not going to go to bed angry with my mate. And I think, like what you said, sometimes it's best, because we go to bed angry, so to speak, does not mean we go to bed in anger. And I think there is a big difference. Just because you go to bed angry does not mean you go to bed in anger. So even though I'm angry, I can still look at my wife, who I love, who I cherish, who I want to spend the rest of my life with, and say, baby, I love you. I'm feeling some kind of way, but I love you, I cherish you. Good night, give me a kiss, and we'll talk about this tomorrow. And I think, because sometimes it's best, like Nicole said, I know that to pursue an argument relentlessly, through it, especially after the midnight hour, you're asking for something bad to happen. You're normally not, somebody's usually been drinking. Somebody's usually been out all night. Somebody's usually been at work all day. Around the time about 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, them arguments creep up. Those are the arguments that will make or break a marriage, because those are the nights that you'll never forget in your relationship. Either you handled them well or you didn't, and they left such a lasting impression on your union that that's the next argument that you're carrying up, is how you handle the last one. And every couple has been through that. You might have an argument in 2005, and it comes back up in 2008 because you didn't handle it right back then. So now the argument never really ended. The main issue back in 2005 that you were arguing about, he could have cheated on you in 2005, and you could have literally keyed his car or spray painted his car, and and y'all still arguing about that in 2008 because he's still paying it off, and you're still together, and that's the car that's preventing you from getting a new car, because it's a credit, And we don't. That's the thing about an argument. we don't often think about the long-term consequences of our actions. And so what do you think? How do you kind of calm yourself?
Me personally,
You personally.
I need space. And I don't mean just like physical space. I need mental space. And you know I'm good for like going to Walgreens whenever 24 hours and just going up and down the aisles. I may, depending on how bad the argument, take his card, buy me a few things. But I need that physical and that mental space. So for me, I just need to clear my mind before I say things with the intent to just hurt you or to annoy you or to anger you the way that I was feeling in that moment. And I know that that's petty, it's immature, and it's counterproductive to us having a healthy marriage. So for me, I just need to, me knowing myself, and a lot of times I just go to sleep, you know, and then I wake up and I'm over it. We could talk about it, but I'm over it as far as feeling what I felt in that moment. So that's how I deal with it, and I've noticed that that's for you too, that's also an effective method, is that you just rather not look at me, because in that moment you're still going to want to talk, and in my mind it's pick, point, jab, but you want to continue to discuss something, because a lot of times you'll leave a room and I don't want to talk about it no more. And 3 minutes later, now I done got into some show I'm watching, and here he come talking. Because he's really not done talking about it, you know. I do it. I do that. I realize that. And that's usually me not verbally admitting that I caused that argument or that I started that argument. And so that's me needing to take accountability and verbally saying, you know, I'm the one who started this argument. What?
Nothing. I love you.
I will dot your eye. No, I won't. I'm just joking. But so that's how we deal with an argument, and we're not afraid to go to bed angry. We always love each other. We always kiss each other goodnight. But we don't force ourselves to, in that emotional state that we're in, to work it out right then and there. Because the reality of it is it wouldn't happen anyway. And it wouldn't be genuine. So I just would urge you guys to take the next day or the next few hours, however long, you know, don't go weeks and weeks, and don't do that silent treatment, because for me personally, that doesn't work. Like, you are not going to give me the silent treatment, because I will force you to talk to me, because I feel like that's an unhealthy marriage. I just feel like sitting around going in the same house where we pay bills and I'm slamming stuff and avoiding you, and it's immature. And it's counterproductive to having a healthy marriage. So just give yourself whatever time that you need, you know, specifying a lot of time if necessary. Take those moments to yourself and then come back and say, okay, emotions aside, this is what, let me be clear, this is what we're arguing about. This is what caused this argument. Now let's resolve it and get to it like that, or else you'll find yourself, like we just said, years down the line having the same argument that you never resolved.
I think you're right. I think, first of all, I don't just think she's right because it would not cause an argument later. Okay, so don't just agree with your spouse just to get along. Don't go along just to get along. Talk the issues out, but like Nicole said, everything doesn't have to be talked out that day, that night, but it needs to be talked out in close proximity to when the issue rose. You know, and so don't wait a year to talk about what happened in September. Right. Don't wait a month to talk about, you know, to talk about what happened in September. Talk about it a day or two, and 2 is pushing it, but a day or so after it happened. Just don't force that issue. Don't force it either. Give each other that space that Nicole was talking about. Give each other that space to calm down. It's better. One of the best quotes that I read on marriage was, give yourself 15 seconds before responding with whatever your answer was going to be. And just that, it's the space. And everything that you're doing when you're arguing with each other, give yourself physical space. Give your words a little bit of time. Give yourself space, because your partner needs it, you need it. It's the lack of space that will make an argument so crucial. that it can cause a breakup. And that doesn't change with marriage. And as a matter of fact, it gets even worse with marriage because more is on the line. And this is your life on the line. So take the time to give each other space to talk it out, to come back together, and don't force the issue. And I think that's the biggest problem with a lot of couples. We force the issue. Like I said, give each other space. So I'm Richard, this is Nicole, and we thank you guys for watching. We truly appreciate it. We hope you enjoy, and we will see you again.